machines have become so powerful that they can individually control thousands of semi-sentient machines spread across an entire world. Now imagine that
and
they
welcome
have
to the
gained the ability to
365-day
manipulate
gaming
time and space,
challenge.
to seed worlds
This is the
with
challenge
these
where I play an
machines.
unplayed game for my pile of shame
What do you
every day.
think would
And
happen
today is day
if you guessed that an endless war
213.
would rage across the
And we are
stars?
looking at Ashes of the Singularity,
right.
Escalation. And we're looking at the intro. It's very loud in my earpiece. This is a real-time strategy game. It's one that I've had in the library for a long time and I've never ever booted it. It's one they still use in benchmarks a lot because it's quite a CPU heavy game. Oh no, they destroyed the entire planet. That really was an escalation. Right, let's have a look at the options. Where is my mouse pointer? There it is. Options. We have cursor scale, which we're going to increase so I can actually see the bloody thing. That didn't make any difference whatsoever. Yeah. Steam avatar, alright, whatever. Health bars. Always show unit health bars. Interface scale 200, we'll leave it in there. Video. Actually, first things first. Music volume is down a bit low, it's still quite loud. Video. It's decided to put quality profile on low. What have we got? Directly we'll put that onto Vulkan actually. We'll put that onto... Well, let's put that on high. Can we benchmark? Oh, we've got to read... Really? Really? When was this game released? 2016. Yeah. Oh, I really do find that annoying. Restart it just because you've changed the small graphics option. Right, let's benchmark that then. We are on Vulkan. And we put it onto high. Alright, let's run the test. At least we'll get to see how pretty the game is, eh? That's some big ships. This is a lot of noise. A lot of noise. I couldn't tell you what's going on in that at all. This is probably going to be a car crash of a game in terms of what's going on. It's taken 3 minutes to do the whole benchmark, so 1 minute and 15 seconds left. Definitely does seem to be some frame drops here and there. Seconds of benchmark on that. So what are our lows? We got I think we've managed to stay above 60 for the most part. At 4K. That dropped. Boom. At one point we did see some very drastic frame drops at some points. But overall that's alright, I think. So, options. I'm going to turn on VSync. Really? Really? You have to restart to turn on VSync. Alright. Now we've done all of that business. Should we have a look at the campaign? Shall we have a look at the basic tutorial? Just so we know what we're doing. Because that looked chaotic to me. That looked very, very chaotic.
To Ashes of the Singularity Escalation.
Thank you. Use a mouse wheel to scroll. Alright, well, mouse wheel's not working. And
this is your nexus. It is the hub of all your economy. If it's destroyed, so are you. This is bad. Try to avoid this.
Oh, we will.
The nexus also creates engineers, which are vital for base building. Your nexus will always start near some metal deposits. These generate a small amount of income, and metal extractors can be built to increase yield. Using your engineer, build a metal extractor over the metal deposits.
Where's my engineer? There he is. metal extractor. Ooh.
On the right side of the screen is a list of objectives. Complete these to advance through the mission.
Build 2 metal extractors. Well, haven't we built more than that?
Congratulations! You've just made your first step towards conquering the galaxy. In the top left corner of the screen is the resource panel. This displays current resource stockpiles, storage, and income per second. Metal will automatically flow into your stockpile until you reach maximum storage. Once that happens, any additional income will be wasted. As your income increases, you will need to ramp up your production and spending to compensate. You've lost your engineer. Remember, additional engineers can be built from the Nexus. To start spending metal, build a factory in order to produce frigates. For the purpose of this tutorial, build and capture speed have been increased.
You can't queue these things.
To start spending metal, build a factory.
Yeah, we're building one.
Frigates.
Shut up.
Factory completed. Time to start producing some brutes. Production structures such as the factory can be set to repeat build queue. This allows it to endlessly produce new units as long as you have the resources to support it. This will be enough brutes to get some work done. Send them to capture the generator to the west. Generators are defended by neutral units called creeps. Creeps must first be cleared before it can be captured.
Let's shoot him. Even with all that going on, why are you not shooting? Go and shoot them.
Well done. Now that you have this generator, you will gain income from the nearby deposits, especially after building metal extractors.
Well, I want to build
You're currently
a metal
gaining
extractor
metal,
then.
but not any radioactives. This is a radioactives region. Capture the generator with brutes and build a radioactives extractor on the deposits.
Can you not hotkey these?
Nice work. The more extractors you build, the more income you will gain.
This is very noisy game.
This is a radioactive region. Capture the generator with brutes and build a radioactives extractor on the deposits.
Yeah, you told us that already. You don't have to keep repeating yourself.
Now that you have both metal and radioactives income, it's worth investing in cruisers. Build an armory with an engineer. While your armory is building, it can be assigned a rally point. This allows newly built units to automatically move to the front.
I'm building an armory.
Select the armory and you'll see a wide range of available cruisers. Each cruiser has a specific role to play in the counter system by being specialized against a particular unit type. Hovering over the build icon presents a tooltip which explains the role of each unit. Building a mixed unit composition and adapting it to counter your opponent is vital. There's one more kind of region which we haven't yet mentioned. This is a Turinium generator. When held long enough, a critical mass of Turinium will result in victory. Turinium is only acquired when holding more generators than your opponents, and capturing multiple Turinium generators will increase the rate of accumulation. Turinium generators are well defended with creeps. Zeus cruisers are ideal for clearing them, but enough frigates will also get the job done. Send some forces to capture it now.
Anti-air and anti-drone cruiser with no ground attack. Tough short-range cruiser with strong versus frigates. So if we do 5 of those, 5 of those, 5 of those, 5 of those. He's got little guns, 2 little guns on him. Can you group them? You can definitely select multiple units of the same by double clicking on one of the units. They're moving slow though. Oh, we did it.
Well done. At the top of the screen, you'll see the progress towards critical mass of Terrenium. As your army grows, you will need to increase your logistics capability. Logistics acts as a population limit that must be increased to sustain larger armies. If you reach your maximum capacity, you will be unable to produce new units. Logistics is displayed at the top of the resource panel. It shows your current amount, a maximum, and a plus symbol to quickly increase it. We've sent you a dreadnought to cap your logistics. Upgrade your capacity now. Good. Upgrading logistics costs a third resource called Quanta. You will not be able to upgrade it again until you have more. Quanta is generated from quantum relays, which are built with your engineers. Build one now. Here's some additional engineers. Using multiple engineers to build a structure will reduce construction time.
What a Quanta. I keep cancelling stuff when I don't need to. Build my engineers.
Logistics is just one of many quantum upgrades. Open up the quantum upgrade panel and you'll see a range of economic and combat upgrades. Quantum upgrades can be applied infinitely, but ramp up in price each time they are used. We're sending you some additional quanta. Upgrade your weapons damage. Building quantum relays and upgrading your forces can be a great way of getting an edge over your opponents.
Oh, I'm gonna
Capturing
get
this next generator could be a
slaughtered.
challenge due to being on a plateau. Your forces will take damage for some time before they're able to ascend the high ground and sight their enemies. Unless you have a large numbers advantage, it's worth revealing the high ground with air units and orbital scan or radar. While base defenses can be countered, they are a valuable tool for defending regions. Similar to units, base defenses have roles and specific targets they excel against. Certain base defenses can also upgrade to more powerful variants. We're sending in a scout plane. Notice how the artillery cruisers are able to safely engage the enemy defenses, so long as they have vision on their targets. Use an engineer to build a smarty system and a constable near the radioactives generator. Remember, hold down shift to queue up one structure after the other.
We can destroy them all. We have numbers advantage. Build.
Use an engineer to build a smarty system and a constable near the radioactives generator. Remember, hold down shift to queue up one structure after the other.
I thought we'd just done that, but...
Your radioactives region is under attack. Your defenses will deflect this small raid.
Enemy has captured a region.
Air units cannot be targeted by most weaponry. Specific anti-air weaponry is required to combat air. Their fast speed and ability to fly over terrain makes them ideal for harassment and reconnaissance. Build a Sky Factory, then produce a Fury Squadron. Furies are deadly against bombers but can't attack ground targets. To differentiate between metal and radioactives, look at the shape of the deposit. Metal deposits are circular, while radioactives are triangular. This is consistent with the minimap icon and when zooming out.
Let's move him up there.
Build a Sky Factory, then produce a Fury Squadron.
Come on, engineers. Another one, please.
Build a Sky Factory.
Shut up, we're doing it.
Here comes another Hades bomber squad. Destroy them with your Furies.
What Furies? I haven't got any.
By now you'll have generated some Quanta from that orbital relay. Quanta can also be spent on orbital abilities which are utility and offensive support powers. Open up the orbital ability panel and you'll see a range of abilities ranging from economic bonuses to an orbital strike. To use an ability, click on the icon, then select an area on the map or a target depending on the type of ability. If an orbital ability is grayed out, you either don't have the required structure or enough Quanta to use it. Here's some more Quanta and all the required structures. There's a group of enemy units hidden here beneath the fog of war. Reveal them with the sensor sweep, then place an offensive orbital to destroy them.
This is a pretty
Enemy
complex
units destroyed.
RTS
Well
game.
done. Orbital abilities can also be blocked in certain areas due to orbital jamming. This is your opponent's base. Try to cast an ability and observe the red circle with the jammed display. We've sent some strategic bombers to your Nexus. These deliver a devastating payload with a wide area of effect. Use them to destroy the orbital nullifier, and you'll be able to use orbitals in this area.
Am I playing the game or is it playing me? I don't know.
Jammer destroyed, well done. Now you can decimate your opponent's base with orbital strike. Destroy your opponent's Nexus or acquire critical mass of Terrenium to complete this mission.
Nexus has been destroyed.
I didn't conquer the galaxy though. Oh, that's just the basic stuff. Alright, well let's have a look at the advanced tutorial.
Welcome to the advanced tutorial. This will teach you more advanced concepts about managing your economy, production and units. Let's start with economy. In the basic tutorial, you learned about capturing regions and building extractors, but there's more to it than that.
Of course there is.
Resource regions need to be connected back to your Nexus. Look at the minimap and you'll notice lines connecting each region. If those regions do not pass through owned territory, it will not provide any income until connected. Harassing your opponent's cutoffs to disrupt supply lines is a powerful strategy. This would be a great location to cut off your opponent's supply lines. Use this air scout to reveal the area, then call down sentries or an incursion to capture the region. Well done, this will weaken your enemy's income and their ability to produce an army. However, you can expect them to try and take it back. Notice how the region you just captured is now flashing on the minimap. This indicates the region is not connected back to your nexus. Not all resource regions are created equal. This radioactive region contains 3 deposits, while the one below it only has 1. Prioritizing more rich regions becomes especially important when upgrading them with advanced economy structures. There's multiple ways to increase income beyond extractors. Most significant are amplifiers. Amplifiers can be built on a generator to increase region output by 50%. The optimized orbital then doubles that effect. Refineries can also be built on a region to further increase income. They're less efficient than amplifiers, but not limited in numbers. Selecting a generator or extractor will tell you the amount of income it's granting. Economy upgrades are heavy investments, so make sure you're able to defend them. To better respond to enemy actions, radar provides warning about enemy movements. Build a sensor array in the targeted area.
Sensor array. I don't see how we do that. Do we have to build an engineer first? Have we not got any engineers?
Build a sensor array in the targeted area.
That's what I'm trying to do. Right, sensor array, there we go. So I didn't have any engineers. Or I couldn't see any engineers. Trouble is with these, it's so difficult to see stuff. There's so much on the map.
As you can see, there are now dots in the fog of war. This indicates enemy activity. Units and structures can engage radar contacts. Notice how your artillery is now engaging the enemy through the fog of war. The Hermes Scout Frigate and Pan Scout Plane also provide radar coverage and boast a large sight range with high mobility. There's a few techniques to streamline the management of your forces on the large battlefield. Using the mouse wheel, zoom out to the strategic zoom. This gives you a wide view of the map to observe the battlefield and issue orders. Select a group of units and press V to assign them to an army. Units assigned in an army automatically take formation and maintain it as they move around. Selecting and issuing orders to any unit will apply it to the entire army. To break up an army, select it and press B. Armies can also receive bonuses when led by a dreadnought. Reinforcements can be ordered directly to an army to maintain its integrity. Select an army and you'll see a range of units that can be sent as reinforcements. Choose some units you'd like to add to the army. They'll automatically be produced from an existing factory, sent over and join the army. The Charon cruiser can speed up this process. If a Charon is present in an army, reinforcements will be teleported after being produced. Here's a Charon and some other cruisers. Call in some reinforcement medics.
Select your Charon. What? It just disappeared off screen for... I hadn't finished reading it. Car on. Now what? Medic.
Well done. Medics will now provide healing to your cruisers.
I don't know what we did there.
Armies
even.
work best when being led by a dreadnought. Dreadnoughts are a class beyond cruisers and many times more powerful. They have high amounts of armor, which makes them resistant to standard weaponry. To counter them, you should build armor-piercing units such as the Nemesis.
Well, I can't build a Nemesis.
Dreadnought taking damage.
During combat, dreadnoughts can level up, each time unlocking a new upgrade for the player to select. These include unlocking new weapons, defensive improvements, buffing units in their army, or one-off repair. There's still a class of units beyond the dreadnought. Juggernauts are the ultimate late-game weapon, and boy are they powerful. This is the Agamemnon. Notice how easily it annihilates this army.
We have captured a generator.
Well, let's just build loads of those then.
Each time Juggernauts level up, they automatically receive a small bonus to health and damage. Unlike Dreadnoughts, there's no limit to how many times they can level up. However, Juggernauts are not unkillable. They still have strengths and weaknesses. The Agamemnon, for example, is weak against multiple Dreadnoughts due to lacking armor piercing. Juggernauts are also the only units to cost Quanta, so make sure you have enough quantum relays to support them. Dreadnoughts and Juggernauts cost a substantial amount of resources, so building them can take some time. To speed up build time, engineers can boost any production structure. Select an engineer and right-click on a factory. Multiple engineers can boost a structure to further increase build speed. The resource drain will increase to match production speed, but the overall cost will remain the same. To make way for the production of high-tier units, management of production is required. If too much resources are being spent simultaneously, your production will grind to a halt. While a dreadnought or juggernaut is being produced, you may want to delay production of frigates and cruisers. On every production structure is the pause button, which will halt whatever is being built until you resume it. You can also right-click on the unit build icons to remove them from the production queue. Changing the units you're producing is a valuable skill. You'll often want to adjust your composition to counter your enemies. If you detect an army of frigates, you may want to pause production of Athenas in favour of Zeus cruisers. Production also needs to be adjusted depending on the amounts of each resources you're receiving. If you're running out of radioactives, build more frigates. If you have an excess, build more quantum relays or amplifiers.
Yeah.
So that's it, you've now learnt how to play this video game.
Nice.
However, PHC is only one faction. Playing as Substrate presents another challenge. Good luck and have fun.
No, we really haven't learned how to play it. This is massively complicated. Oh dear. I was just concentrating on that so much It was difficult to actually say anything. So what is that? So there's scenarios, alright. I don't know which of those, I mean I'm assuming that that's just the one to start with.
The Singularity, an inflection point in human evolution. A release from all known bounds, casting humanity free of every prior limitation of mind and body. Humanity's technological capabilities expanded at exponential speeds. Humans learned to rewrite their biology, redefine their limitations, then eliminate them entirely. Their minds transcendent. They were no longer as the universe made them, but what they chose to be. No longer human, but something different, something greater. We are what came after. We are new. We are post-human, and the infinite expanse calls to us. We move among the stars, converting dead worlds into terrenium, the computational matter on which we exist. As we forge it, our reach extends. Our culture grows. Now something is resisting us. In the distant reaches of known space, post-humans are being corrupted, turned into something else.
2178. Yeah, I'd be very surprised.
I don't think we can hold them off much longer.
We need to initiate another entity.
You sure that's needed? There's not enough bandwidth to transfer a veteran here.
I know. We're going to have to bring a neophyte.
You think that's a good idea?
The splinters are going to overrun us if we don't. We have no other choice.
I need you to listen carefully. None of this is going to make much sense right now, but you have to start moving quickly. You are now connected to a single construct, the scout vehicle below you. If this construct is destroyed, you will lose your connection to this world and fail the mission.
Okay.
Something has taken control of our nexus on this planet. We need you to take your scout and get it within sensor range so that we can target it with a bombing run. Why don't you test out the recon unit? Left click to select it. Move it to the indicated area by right-clicking. Good. The Hermes appears to be functional. Notice the red radar ping to the northwest. That red blotch means that enemy units are present. Your sensors can't tell you exactly what is present. You'll only have a general idea of what's there. For now, it's probably best to avoid radar contacts like this. Try to go north as much as you can.
Right, we're going north.
You can turn this unit, or a group of units, into a control group by typing Control and a number key. Try it. You can move the map display by holding down the right mouse button and dragging. Zoom the camera in and out with the mouse wheel.
You're gonna need to just run through this contact ahead. It's blocking the only way to your target. The Hermes construct is very fast, so you should have no problem outrunning it.
Well, we'll do our best.
Good. Continue northwest towards the next marker. By now, you're probably wondering who I am.
Not
Hell,
really.
You might even be wondering who you are. The person you were before today is gone. Now, you are what we call a post-human. That's how you're able to see this alien world all the way from Earth. Except you're not just on Earth anymore. A tiny piece of you is here, connected to that construct you're controlling this very moment. Today is the first day of your new life. You may be instrumental in saving the human race. No pressure. You must be getting near the hijacked nexus.
Its fabricator, a giant orbital satellite, is still under our control. I'm gonna transfer down an Artemis. Stand by. The Artemis is an artillery unit. It can attack targets it can't see as long as they're detected by your sensors. Now, use your scout to detect the enemies to your west, and use the Artemis to destroy them.
The west.
Excellent. Our bombers are now locked onto the hack nexus. Stand by and enjoy the show.
Why does it all have to be about destruction? Did we win?
Failing. The neophytes destroyed the Splinter's nexus.
Excellent. We can... Something's not right. I can't feel my mind. I can't feel my mind.
Valen? Valen!
Okay.
Valen's gone, and we have no idea how or why. Whatever did this must also be behind the splinters. They're what remain of post-humans that have been transformed into something else. Drones of some sort, mindless and beholden to a foe we know nothing about. We must discover who this enemy is, and how they are corrupting even the mightiest among us.
Oh, it's a Rigel. I seem to like Rigels in space games.
Welcome to the planet Rigel 3. Out here, your relative inexperience is actually an advantage.
Is it?
Old salts like me require a great deal of logistics in order to get to a new star system. Because you don't even have a nexus yet, we can insert you onto nearly any planet within our range. The
That's
planet
lucky.
Rigel will act as your base of operations in this
me.
sector of the Orion constellation. Brought the Hermes you had on Kepler here. This time, you'll have additional forces. This will be a good opportunity for you to get used to controlling multiple units at once. As before, you're linked to this world through your Hermes scout. Do not let it be destroyed. You're doing well. Soon you'll see the main force of Guardians. Our Haley AI designed these Guardians once it became clear that some people weren't willing to wait their turn for a planet of their own to colonize. As a result, we've had to begin arming our constructs. Most people don't have access to military hardware like you currently possess, so the Guardians are generally sufficient to ward off overly enthusiastic colonizers. Here, you have 2 brutes and an archer. The archer's very fragile, but fires a toxode rocket that does a lot of damage. The brutes do very little damage, but they're fairly tough and can protect your archer in combat. Now that you have a small force, take them south. Here are a couple of wandering Guardian constructs. Try to take them out without losing forces.
Did we do it? I think we did it.
Remember, use your brutes to protect your archer. Done. Now you only need to capture the power generator. To do that, just move your units near it. They'll do the rest.
We're doing it.
Congratulations! You now have a foothold on this world. This position on Rigel 3 will allow us to build you a full-blown nexus on the relatively nearby planet of Cygnus 4.
Victory. Wow.
Order.
Order?
Mac, you and Valen were the primary sponsors for the Post-Human Coalition. We are all grateful for your contributions.
You're welcome.
However, with Valen missing, we are concerned about the future of this endeavor.
I understand. Haley believes that a third-party force injected itself into his mind and essentially consumed him.
Don't want to be doing that.
I believe I have detected a post-singularity entity that is far more powerful than we are. We are vulnerable. I recommend we do not ascend any more humans.
I agree with Haley. This Flowers for Algernon program is fundamentally flawed. There are 117 of us today, and 8 billion humans on Earth who have as much in common with us as they do with mice.
Bit arrogant.
The only way we can safely expand outside the Orion Arm is to severely limit the number of beings with access to Turinium.
That isn't the only way. That assumes that one powerful mind is greater than 1 billion human minds.
There are 8 billion human minds right now. How's that working out?
Those minds are still limited by their biology. Once they become post-humans, they'll be powerful allies.
Really? Like the neophyte who took out Valen on Kepler 3?
I don't like Vexen.
Precisely.
I'm feeling a very
I'm not going to put my faith
negative
in the hands
feeling
of barely sentient beings.
towards him. It definitely was an imminent crisis. Well, I think I'm actually going to leave this game right there. These introductory missions are fairly noddy compared to the tutorial we played. I'm quite surprised. We jumped. Let's just cancel that out. Go back and just have a look. They do. You've got skirmish games as well. Map selection. So 2 players, 12 players, 2 players. So beginner AI, metal, normal. What about multiplayer then? So multiplayer, unranked. Let's have a look, custom matches, see who's playing today. There aren't very many people playing multiplayer. So I'm guessing this isn't something people play online anymore very much. The metaverse. I'm not sure why we're only ranking down there. Who's in the top then? One Punch Romy has beaten me with his GTX 980. Although they are 1080p. I'm guessing if we come in here with 1080p, we're probably going to smash that quite considerably. Well, this has been the 365-day gaming challenge. This is the challenge to play an unplayed game from Bond Shame every day. This has been day 213, and we have been looking at Ashes of the Singularity Escalation, which mind-blowing actually. That seemed like a very complicated RTS game, and then we went into the campaign and it was like, I'm going to hold your hand for a little bit more. So maybe it ramps up in difficulty. It's just surprising just how complex the tutorial was. I didn't like that the help text just disappeared after 5 seconds without you being able to read it. You should really leave that stuff on screen until you dismiss it. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in this game. A lot of different unit types, a lot of countering of unit types. It's almost like you need a crib sheet to be able to know what's going on. I think it's one of these games you really do have to learn quite deeply if you want to have any chance of winning online, but as we've seen, there's not that many people playing it online anyway. I'm not sure how much this sells for these days. I can't even remember when I bought this. It's years ago, I think. And it's just sat there and played. So let's have a quick look at the Steam page. It was released November 10th, 2016, and it has mostly positive reviews. Although there's only been 14 reviews recently. It sells for £23.79. But if you want the big bundle with all the DLCs, because there's a whole stat load of DLCs as well by the looks of it, there is some free stuff. 2 free things, Juggernaut DLC and the co-op map pack. But then there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and an ebook. So there's 10 game content stuff. One of those is a soundtrack DLC actually, so 7 packs, some of those are map packs. Some of those is game content. But if you buy all of that stuff, it's going to cost you £45 with a 32% discount. Definitely very different RTS game to any other RTS game I've played. And I have played a lot of them. Going all the way back to Dune. Back in the 90s. But if you like RTS games, I think this one is probably one to check out. You're probably going to need to sink some time into it, more time than I can afford to spend at the moment. It looks pretty, runs reasonably well on this rig, and judging from the benchmark high score tables, it should run pretty well on most systems that are around these days. It's doing alright with the GTX 970 and a 480 on there as well, I can see. Yeah, I think you're probably going to have a reasonably good time. This is running a GTX 780 Ti now. It's well presented, it didn't crash. The only thing I didn't really particularly like was that you had to quit out the game in order to affect any settings changes that you put on. But you know, you set up your settings first time, and then you don't really need to worry about that again. But I will be back again tomorrow with another game from my partner Shane, day 214. Until then, I hope you have a pleasant evening, and I will bid you farewell.